While covering this year's Fantastic Fest, I was able to check out VHS Beyond. Now, this is the 9th film in the franchise if you include the 2 spin-offs, and it's been a while since I've seen one of these films, so what I want to do in today's video is give you my thoughts on the individual stories and also share a ranking with you all from my least favorite to my favorite, and also by the end, I'll let you know my overall thoughts on the VHS Beyond is worth checking out. So my least favorite story is the frame narrative. Now, if you've seen the VHS films before, you know that there are individual stories, but they all are connected to this main story, and the main story, which is called Abduction, was just so bad to me. Like, the breaks in between really kind of took away from any of the intrigue that it was building, and once you see like the final scene and the big reveal, it was just kind of terrible to me, and it was just not a great framing to connect to all the overall stories. Next on my list is Stowaway. Now, I'm a big fan of Kate Siegel, who just makes her directorial debut, and also her husband Mike Flanagan, who I'm also a big fan of, wrote this particular short story. Unfortunately, it just didn't work for me. Like, it looked really good. Like, it's probably the best looking of the short films for me. But narratively speaking, I just wasn't attached to the story, and it just didn't really go anywhere. And then once we get to where we are, I don't want to tie too much to it, but it is an overarching theme. It's like Alien. And once we get the story with the aliens and our main character, it was just disappointing to me. Next on my list is a short film by the name of Stork. Now, this one probably is one of my favorite when it comes to the action, because this has the most action of any of the films. I want to keep this as spoiler free as possible, but basically what you're looking at are these police who are investigating these babies being taken, and it leads them to this house. And from there, I'll just say the action was really fun. It reminded me of like a zombie video game, like you were playing Resident Evil. And then there's a particular reveal about babies feeding to something that I thought was pretty wild. My list is the film called Dream Girl. Now, basically, without giving too much away, we follow these 2 cinematographers who are having a bad day, and they're trying to get some behind the scenes of this very popular Bollywood superstar. Now, they end up getting some behind the scenes, and what they find is very menacing. This was a lot of fun. There's a dance sequence that I did not expect to go that long. Then once you get the reveal of who the star is, it was pretty brutal, and I love all the carnage. We have Live and Let Die. The basic idea is this gentleman who's celebrating his 30th birthday, and him and his friends and his fiance are going on a skydiving trip. And on this skydiving trip, as they're going down, there's an alien invasion. All I'll say is the skydiving sequence was a lot of fun. There's a scene that involves a truck that I thought was like visually impressive. Now, speaking of the visuals, I will say one of the weakest elements of this particular story is when it comes to the aliens and the visual effects for most of the action, it didn't look that great, but overall, a really fun story. Number 1 film of VHS Beyond is by the name of Fur Babies. Now, this is brought to us by Justin Long and his brother, and all I'll say is I did not expect a certain reveal. This was dark, this was sinister, this was the one story that had nothing to do with aliens, and I was okay with that. Because all I'll say is, if you've seen Tusk, which was directed by Kevin Smith and starred Justin Long, let's just say this is kind of a spirited sequel. And again, you will not expect what you see in this film. It is very messed up. Overall, I would say VH1 Beyond is my first time watching one of these in a very long time, and I didn't like how some of the stories were in the order that they were, and like the theme just wasn't as strong as some of the previous VH1s for me. But with that being said, there's some fun to be had. Like I said, there's some really fun segments like I mentioned when you all see it. Gary is the MVP, and overall, the Fur Babies was like super entertaining and very memorable. These are meant to have fun. Like I said, I'm really excited to see more of Kate Siegel. She's going to direct more things. Justin Long and his brother, those some fun segments as far as what to expect from some great directors coming up. So overall, it's a fun time. I wouldn't say it's the best VHS of all time, but again, there's some fun sequences and a lot of blood and a lot of carnage. That's my thoughts on VHS Beyond. Once you all have seen it, let me know your thoughts on the segment. How would you rate them? And also, if you've seen all the VHS movies, which one is your favorite? Let's talk about it all in the comments below.